You are listening to Mahogany Says Radio Show with Mahogany Silverring, mahoganysilverring.net. By best-selling author L. Loren. Garrison Daniels is on the run after a failed attempt to murder his brother and overthrow his father as boss of the Enterprise faction. Knowing his days are numbered, why would he be in a mansion filled with his father's deadliest associates? One word, Melina. She was getting married, but knew Garrison could never resist disrupting the ceremony. Melina is Enterprise's top assassin, and the wedding, just a ruse to draw out her mark. She's always been Garrison's ride or die, What happens when the sentiment becomes reality? Southern Comfort, a smooth, sweet, and 100 proof interracial erotic romance. Part of the Lunchtime Chronicles. Written by bestselling author Elle Loren. Get your copy on Amazon today. Roman is a playboy, but one too many scandals has put his CEO position in jeopardy. He must find a nice girl, one that the board of Hemingway Industries would approve of, and get married before the new year. Kamaya is just the woman he needs, with her wholesome, clean image. Roman is the one man who has ever held a place in her heart, but she has no plans of marriage, only philanthropy. So Roman must prove his love and earn Kamaya's trust, or risk losing it all. Everyone needs a little cream in their hot coffee. An Interracial Romance by Donna R. Mercer. For more information, visit www.donnarmercer.com. Hot coffee. Get your copy today. You are listening to Mahogany Says Radio Show with Mahogany Silverring. MahoganySilverring.net. Well, hello and good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me tonight on the Mahogany Says Show. I'm your host, Mahogany Silverring, and we've got a great show for you tonight. I had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we're going to roll right along with it. So I have the wonderful Miss Posey Parks with me tonight. She's one of the authors of the Lunchtime Chronicles series. Miss Posey, can you say hello to everyone?
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great night.
So do you prefer to be called Posey or Shantee? Or Shantee?
Posey. I mean, well,
Posey.
Shantee is my regular name. You know, my real name, but Posey's fine.
Gotcha. Posey. Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started writing.
Let's see. I have a wild imagination. My friends used to love to listen to me tell my little wild stories, and my best friend was like, you should write down your little stories or whatever. And so I did, and I even entered one into a contest in high school. I used to write my stories by hand, which is crazy, yeah. And then, I don't know, I was like 18 when I wrote, I guess, like my real first story. I never published it or anything. And then I didn't write again forever. That's what it feels like, I guess, until like 6 years ago. So in 2014, my husband said, you don't write anymore. Maybe you should try it. And I started writing on my iPhone. And, yeah, and taking off ever since. So, yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, I read your books out of order because I read when I saw that Sweet Georgia Peach was up. I said I have to read that because I live in Georgia, so I'm like, yeah, I got to read that.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I loved it. I mean, it was awesome. Wyatt is total. I mean, there's a hottie right there. And Lakeland, oh my goodness, the cutest couple ever. But, they went through some stuff.
I know. But, it's so funny because I didn't realize that was my first forbidden love, interracial forbidden love story. I have another one that's not interracial. And I was like, oh, my God, I thought I wrote one before. I was like, oh, no, you did not. So, yeah, that was cool.
Well, it was very interesting, the whole concept, because of her brother. And it's just like, oh, my God, just grow up, dude. You should have to marry somebody. Why not be your best friend? Because you're now he's going to be your brother. I mean, come on. What more could you ask for? But.
Well, I have two brothers, so I know. Someone said that to me on a post. It was like, I don't understand. Everybody's mad at Deacon. And I'm just like, well, this is kind of from my own experience, I guess, My brother wouldn't want me to be with one of his friends because, they ran together, so they did things together. And so it's like, how your best friend can be, and it's like, oh, I don't want him to be with my sister. But he did not, I guess Deacon didn't understand that wasn't the side of the person he was with Lakeland. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
he could be one way with his friends,
she made
but,
him
yeah.
Right.
She made him a
So
better
he
person.
didn't get that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he didn't see that. Eventually you see that he eventually kinda is getting it and coming around. So.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cute little twist on the story.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I was not expecting some things that happened, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. But there were some certain things I was like, "Whoa, where'd that come from?" That you just kind of, so you kept me on my toes, and that's good. I mean, I really enjoyed it. So I would definitely say, and yes, butter pecan gelato too. But I'm like, really, Georgia Peach got me. I was like, yes, this is.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like
awesome.
sports romances. So, thank you. I created a post in one of the Facebook groups, asking what readers wanted, and a lot of them said sports romance. I was like, oh, it was sports romance and mafia romance, and I write mafia romance mainly.
Yeah, I saw that
like,
too. I was like,
really?
I'm going to have to read these now. I went through your page and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to read some of these because I'm just getting into mafia romance. That really wasn't a big thing for me, but I read one mafia romance and I got hooked, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. So, yeah, I know most people say they're dark, but I didn't find them to be dark at all. I was like, okay, no, this is like real life. So,
it's kind of a different kind of dark,
Yeah.
I belong to a dark romance group, but, it's the dark I think of for mafia is that they're crime families and they murder a lot. And I think that's the darkest part of it.
That's
so
the darkest
you can't handle the grit. Yeah. A reader said that she didn't like the whole the murdering part, so much murder happening. I'm like, well, that's mafia.
It's
that's
mafia
what they
romance,
do.
Dude. Yeah. She's probably never watched a mafia or a show at all, or a movie. I mean, I got some great ones she could watch, but if you're not familiar with mafia romances, there's a lot of violence.
Yeah.
There's a lot more action,
Exactly.
but that also adds to a lot more of the excitement about it, because it's almost like the life and death situation kind of ups the ante with the angst and the pull to be with someone special, like your life's in danger, you save her, or she saves, it kind of creates more, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like mystery or mystique or suspense, or like a real ride or die, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
Because you are in the situation, yes.
Yeah,
so I love that.
I know.
I didn't think I would, but I really do enjoy that. It's like, as a reader, because not only do you write, I read too. So I was like, yes, definitely. I like that.
Yeah. My first, it was so funny when I first started writing again. I read Amory, I don't know if I'm saying her first name right, but Amory Avant, Fear series, and it was Fire. And then I read DJ Parker, what is it, Dipping Into Sin, and that was Mafia, and that was so dope. I was like, oh my God, this is what mafia romance is. I mean, so I've watched a lot of mafia movies, but
I have too.
This was on another level. I was like, wow, this is like amazing. And I didn't start out writing mafia romance. I kind of just started writing mafia romance, I want to say back in 2018. But I always write like suspenseful, like assassin, stuff like that. So it's always killing in my books. But I was like,
hey,
wow,
action.
This is,
Yeah, because you got to have a little action with your romance. At least for me, I love watching action movies. So I got to have some kind of.
Me too.
It builds or intensifies it for me, because you've got all this stuff going on, and so I like it. I think that is awesome.
Yeah, keeping the reader on their toes, I would say. That's
exactly.
What it does. Yeah.
And and you did that with this book too. I was like, wow, just a little twist and turns there, and Lakeland's a little badass.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness, I was not expecting that at all.
I didn't know she was going to do that. I didn't either. I wasn't expecting that either. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
I was just writing,
like,
and
oh, okay, go ahead, girl.
Oh, you're going to do that? Okay. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Why not?
I let my characters have their way.
Yeah. Yeah, because they have a way of doing that. You outline everything, you think you got it a certain way, and then, they're like, oh, but no. This is what I do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so you're like,
It's like,
okay.
you add an extra. What are you doing?
Okay. That's a nice twist. Okay. I'll go with that.
Right.
But yeah,
Exactly.
she really surprised me. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to spoil it for the readers, but I just pick up the book and read it. It is definitely worth it. I read that book in like less than 2 hours. I was like, because I was like, couldn't put it down. I was like, I got to see what happens, Because it was just the back and forth, and you really got that. You nailed it, because it was like the will they or won't they, or oh my God, they know they're too much. They got to do this, they got to be.
And
it was perfect. It was perfect. I wouldn't be surprised if it jumps right up there at all, because that was right on the money. And I can't say that enough. I'll stop. Anyway, so tell us, what was your first published book? What was that journey like for you?
Oh, wow. It was interesting because I knew no one in the author community. And so, I would ask authors, I like their covers, like, oh my God, who created your cover? And it'd be like cricket. They wouldn't tell me. I was like, oh, okay. So it was like a lot of hard work. It was a major learning experience, and sinking money into different promotions you think are good, but aren't, because you just don't know. Yeah. So it was definitely a learning curve. Samantha Posey Love Unfolded was my first book, and it was a big book. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes. I think we all do with our first book, and then the more you elevate in your writing, it's like you want to go back and like, I want to rewrite this book and rewrite that book, and it's like, well, the readers are expecting another book from you, and it's like, where's the balance, in doing that? Because I know an author who said she went back to write one of her first books, and I'm just like, girl, that it's just a lot. I mean, I wrote over again, but like not rewriting it like that, but like, fixing certain things.
Yeah,
but but it, I know I need to like do a deep dive, and I'm just like, but then they're gonna be like, well, where's Hidden Witness 7 if I do that? You see what I'm saying? It just pushes my writing schedule back. So it's just it's tough. It's really tough. I think a lot of us say, oh, my God, I cringe when I read, those
first
books.
Book.
like,
I was
unless you went to school for it. Yeah.
Well, even if you went to school for it, because I took creative writing, I still cringe to my first one.
Really? I always thought that if people took creative writing, it would just, it would, I don't know.
I learned the
better.
basics, and we learned how to, write a certain way. We learned what our own writing style, as you grow, it changes. So my writing style from 20 years ago is totally different from my writing style now, even 10 years ago. So
that makes sense.
It's a growing process. I mean, even passing the class, it's just, there's so many things that you learn over time. And you improve upon as you go, the more you write. So, yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
I actually took the class, and I was still like, oh my God, did I write this?
Yeah.
Book.
Yeah, I know. And it's so funny because you, like sometimes I listen to like authors that I love talk about their writing and how they cringe, and I'm like, oh my God, I love that book. What are you talking about? Are you serious? You would want to go back and rewrite that? Please do not touch that book. You know what I'm saying? It's like you wouldn't think that they would say that, but we all have
because we are our worst critics. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I'm more critical of my work than anything, and I was like, "Oh God, I said that." You're like, "Who wrote this?" Like,
I know.
What was I
thinking? It's a learning experience, Yeah.
Yeah, try writing when you had 2 margaritas. I had so much fun writing, and I read the next day. I was like, "Oh my goodness."
Rewrite.
It actually worked though. That's a myth. I was like, wait a minute, that actually works. I didn't remember writing
I've done
it.
that. I've done that with a blurb and was shocked that it came out better when I had a little something to drink. I was like, oh, that blurb is nice. Like, what?
You relaxed. And, yeah. So I'm like, okay, yeah. I might need to write under margarita influence more often because that sounded pretty good. I can't help it. I grew up in San Antonio, so I got used to margaritas real quick.
Oh, I love margaritas. Well, I love to drink, but margaritas, like strawberry margarita on the rocks.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm from Detroit, and so we had Mexican Village or something, and we used to go down there and hang out. And I always had ordered a strawberry margarita on the rocks, and they were amazing. Oh, so good.
Oh, yes. They are. And I actually had a mango one time at this restaurant. And
really?
I'm like, yes, it was good. I was surprised.
I'm going to have to try that one. I didn't even think about that.
But it actually had a good balance with the tequila, So, it was mango. And I think it was like the name of the restaurant was Margaritas. And they were, I guess they were just trying it out with the mango. And I said, let me try that. And that was really good. I was like, I had a frozen one that time. But it worked. So.
Yeah, I always worried about the frozen ones not being potent enough, but sometimes they I guess they're sitting in that liquor. Yeah.
It sneaks up on you. So I thought, okay, it's not that bad. Yeah, I got up.
Right.
Sat back down.
Like,
whoa,
wait
a minute. Yeah. You snuck that in on me. I'm thinking I'm being cute, just sipping, right? No, got up.
Right.
Oh. Wow, when did the room start moving? Yeah.
Right. I only had 3 of those big drinks because they come in a really big glass too. So.
Right, and it was frozen, so it's mostly watered down, right? No.
I watered down with tequila. Yeah.
Right. Well, exactly. You think, okay, it's frozen. It's got ice. It's water, right? It's gonna be all right. No.
Right.
So what comes first for you? Is it the plot or the characters?
Ooh, I'm a pantser, so I know people are always shocked when I say that.
Sometimes it works.
The whole outline thing, I tried at the beginning of the year. Like, I sat down and I really, tried to outline. I was like, and then I strayed from it. I'm more of a timeline person. Like, this has to happen here. Like, as long as these points happen in the story, I'm fine. Right. So I use Scrivener to create my character Bible, for each story. And in one tab would say what is it called? Like your beat sheet, like romance in the beat. Yeah. So I kind of do it that way. And then I just say, okay, so we want to make sure certain things happen. But I just start writing from chapter 1 and just go. And it just happens. Wow. So I kind of let the characters, lead me. A lot of points. Like I said,
I try to stick to it, but it doesn't always work that way. So that's why I say if you're a pantser, it's fine because sometimes that's the best. The story itself. And I think a lot of editors don't always see that, but it's like, yeah. I was like, it's the character story. That's how they see it. I go with their interpretation.
Yeah, so I'll start off on a timeline and it'll stray because the character has taken me somewhere else. And I'm like, wait a minute, that was not where we were supposed to go. And so then you kind of I sit there and kind of just think for a minute, okay, where are we going next? And a lot of times I just keep writing and it just, I don't know, it just flows. It just, that's just my writing style. But I do want to try and plot again in 2021. So I'm going to sit down and try again. I'm really going to try. And just the whole writing pages and pages of outline bothers me. I'm like, I should be writing those words in the story. So
exactly.
That's my thing. I'm like, I just cringe. I have too many books to get out. So, but
yeah.
Sorry.
Do you ever do this the speed writing? You get so many words in an hour.
Yeah, I was big on that several times this year, and then I don't know. I was in Discord. I it's a writing group that's on Discord, and we would do writing sprints, and it was great. Because, oh my God, I mean, just somebody, I mean, like, you know, you have people that's all around the country, so someone's in another country, and it might be 4 p.m. there, and you know, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning here or something, you know, and it's like, you want to sprint. Anybody else want to sprint? It's like, hey, me. And then you just get on for 20 minutes or 50 minutes or whatever and just bang out the words. I watch a lot of live sprints, too, on YouTube, and they're very helpful, especially on the deadline.
Yes. So describe your writing space and what is a typical writing day for you?
Well, you know, we have this new normal. So my husband works at home now. So I have to share. Yeah, I had to create a makeshift area. And he's like working at my desk in another part of the house. So this is so ratchet. But, you know, like the banquet table or whatever that you set up, I'm sitting at a banquet table in my office, but I have so much space. I actually really like it, which is so peculiar, but I actually love it. And a lot of times I like when I was writing Sweet Georgia Peach, I had to wake up at 2:30 in the morning to start because, you know, once my kids get up for school, I have to kind of shift gears and, you know, make sure they're good to go before they start class because they're in digital learning, so everybody's here all day, every day.
Oh, yeah, all day, every day.
Yeah, so it's tough, but, yeah, I try and write as many words as I can, at least until 8 o'clock, and then I have to, after getting them ready for school, I have to switch over to marketing and stuff like that, making sure my Facebook ads are running and all that kind of stuff. So it's hard being a business owner, I want to say, because that's what you are a lot of times as an author. You can't just, you're wearing several hats. And like I say, oh, I meant to write, you know, only write all day today, but it just doesn't happen.
No.
I wish it did,
really
but
doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah.
So how do you deal with writer's block, or has that happened?
I don't want to say it's happening right now, but I kind of feel like I got stuck for a minute. So if I get stuck, I'll walk away, or I'll take a drive or something like that, and I'll really like talk it out with myself, like what I'm trying to do in this particular part of the story. And then a lot of times the wheels will start turning, and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, I see where they're going. And then it just kind of hits me, and then I'm just back at it and just cranking out the words. So that's always a good thing if you can walk away and
walk away from
it. Watch TV, you know, anything that gets your mind off of it for a moment if that's what you need to do. Or watch an action movie. A lot of times if I watch an action movie, supernatural, anything like that, it usually gets my wheels turning, and then I'm like, okay, when I go back in the morning or an hour later or something like that, then I'm just cranking after that. Yeah.
So how many books have you published?
Great question. I need to do that post where you say you've published your something book. I think this was 26 maybe that I just released. Sweet Georgia Peach.
Wow.
Was number 26. Yeah, I have other pen names, so it's more than that. It's probably like I've probably written about 30 books.
Okay.
But under Posey, I think it's 26. So yeah, I'm working on number 27 right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how do you handle, I mean, you said you're like busy in everyone's home, so do you really carve out any me time to where you get away from everything else? Because I know it's hard to do with, you know, quarantine, but do you like do something especially just for you?
My writing schedule towards the end of the year has been ludicrous, to be honest with you, because when the pandemic happened, I will say that I kind of shut down, and I was stuck on the TV. All I could do was watch what was going on, literally from March through April. And so I didn't get a lot of books done. I didn't get a lot of writing done at all. So that's kind of why the end of the year is like insane, where I'm releasing like 5 books because I didn't write anything for 2 months, basically. But carving out time for me is really, it can be 15 minutes if I watch Lucifer before I go to sleep, my little show on Netflix.
I love that show.
Unwind.
Yes.
Go to the hairdresser, like I'm going to make a hair appointment and go get my hair done next week, and just, that stuff is just, and read a book while I'm under the dryer.
While you're there, yes.
Awesome.
That's the perfect
I love
time.
that. Yeah. You're in the dryer for an hour. That's a great time to read a book. So,
when I can sit there and read, that's the me time for me, because, I'm it's quiet, and I got to, take a break from my own writing so I can read somebody else's.
Exactly, yeah, and you get lost in someone else's world, and it's so fun. I love it. I have so many books on my Kindle. I wish I could read them all. I wish I could just take off 3 months and just read. Yeah. Another thing I do is audiobooks. I love audiobooks. Like if I'm driving,
I do
going to the store or something like that. Oh my goodness, that is so therapeutic. Listening to books.
Yeah. And it's like watching TV, but you don't, you can see them in your head.
Yeah.
For me, especially the ones that have like the music in the background during certain scenes, and it just makes it come alive for you. And I've listened to several that are just like, wow, it's like watching a movie, but because they have all the sound effects, the gun firings or anything,
Yes.
It's like, so I listen to it before I go to bed. Sometimes if my brain is too, just doing too much and I can't sleep. So I listen to it and I put the sleep timer on it. And sometimes I'm still awake when it goes off, and I'm like, yeah. So it kind of helps me relax so that I can get into the story, and then my mind will stop from overworking and saying, oh, this idea and this idea and this idea. That I'm like, no, I'm trying to work on this, but
Yeah. I've listened to M. Robinson, El Diablo. Oh my goodness, I know there were sound effects in there. I was like, really? What?
Yeah.
Sound effects? I was like, oh, I don't have any audio books yet for my titles, but I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I was like, I didn't think about that's the first book I listened to where they had like sound effects like that in there. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I never even thought about that until I heard my first one. It's Laurel K. Hamilton. Her older books from like 2009 when she first came out and started writing. The beginning of her Anita Blake series. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's got music, it's got sound effects, it's got,
Wow.
And so she went back and did her whole catalog of books, because I think she's like on book 28 that's supposed to come out February. So
wow.
like all of her books now are on audio. So I'm like saving up my little credits every month so I can download her books. So I can listen to them, because it really is like watching. She needs to have her own. I mean, I would watch her just like I watch True Blood, because it's the vampire series. She has 2 series, the vampire and then the fae. Yeah, so
okay,
I like both of them.
Yeah, I like paranormal. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So your series, how many series do you have?
I think 3. Samantha, Vanilla Chase, Hidden Witness. Only 3, which is 4. I'm sorry, I have Not Given Up. That's just like a duet, though.
Okay.
But I think I'm adding another book to the Not Given Up series. A lot of times I don't do well with standalones, because then the readers ask me, so is there going to be a book 2? And it's like, oh, shoot, it wasn't supposed to be. And then it's like, so
it becomes popular and they want to know more. Yep.
Yeah. So I do have books that aren't series yet, but that will be series next year, like Deep Seal and Nikki's Love Torn. They'll have another book. So, so there's series. It'll start a series. It just hasn't yet. That's all.
Okay.
I have 3 right now. 4 right now. Sorry.
4 right now. Okay. So how do you keep things fresh for yourself and the readers when you're doing series?
I don't know. It's so funny because I was just trying to, when I was writing Assassins and Mob Wives, which was a very difficult book to write, I hinted that Hidden Witness 7 was coming, but I didn't really know what was going to happen in Hidden Witness 7, and then I was just driving along, and it hit me, and I was like, oh, my goodness, that would be so amazing. Nobody would see this coming. I didn't even see it. I was like, okay, this is great. So, I mean, a lot of times like I said, things just really come to me. I don't really write it down beforehand. It's very seldom that I do. I might like start a book just so that I can, like if the ideas came to me, I might start chapter 1 or something like that.
Right.
So that when I go back and read, I'm like, okay, yep, that's what I want to happen. Or I might change something. But a lot of times I really don't know what I'm going to come up with.
Yeah. Okay. So what is your favorite part or your least favorite part of the publishing process?
I mean, I think I'm with every other author. I just want to write. I don't mind doing the marketing part, but sometimes it can be so tedious where, you're not just running ads. You have to create the ads, so you have to create the graphics. There's just so many components to it that it just takes away from writing. And that's the hardest part for me, finding that balance. I'm constantly taking more marketing classes. I'm in another marketing class right now for Facebook ads, and I've taken like 4 or 5. I spent a fortune on Facebook ad courses. But I know
they're helpful.
They're so helpful. And when people say that they don't help, I kind of cringe because I'm like, there are billions of people on Facebook. Like, you got to think that you never know who you could be marketing to. You just don't know. So, just the whole finding, I just wish I could just write and not have to market. Or, social media is a distraction, and I have a problem with that. Like, I'll write a paragraph, and my reward is going on Facebook and checking my group or checking posts or posting like a quick ad or something in a group. I've got that bad. And I always say, I'm going to stop doing that. Or I might put the sleep timer on my phone, like put it to sleep so that I don't pick it up, or I'll tell myself, don't pick up the phone before 8 o'clock in the morning. Just write, or don't look at sales before 8, something like that. But it's really a struggle.
Yeah, I can agree with you there, because I can get sucked into answering people's questions, or they say, or getting in a group and chatting with other authors. So, and I get stuck on that.
A lot of authors say that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wait a minute, I'm supposed to be doing this today, but
Yep. And then you're like, oh my God, I lost like 2 hours.
2 hours
doing that when I could have been writing, and
or
some authors
more, or creating more ads or something, But no, I'm looking around, flipping through and answering people's questions, and like, how they ask us engagement questions, and I just like jump on and answer, I'm like, stop. Sonya V does that a lot too. I see hers, and I'm like, well, let me answer that,
I know. She has the most engaging posts. I'm so jealous. I was like, they're just so cool. Where did you find this stuff?
I'm like, how do you do this? And you write, and she's releasing all these books like back to back. And I'm like, how is she doing that and still able to do that, and still able to come in and start up your conversation with her group and get everybody all excited. And
I'm so happy I'm in her group because I just love it. And Kenya writes group too. Like they're very engaging. I mean, I thought I was engaging, but they've got me beat.
Yes. That's another one that I see it and it pops up on my feed. I'm like, let me answer that one, Cake Killers. Oh, yeah.
And you're reading everybody's comments. And you're reading all 70 comments that people.
Right. You look, see who else had something else to say because it comes up on your news feed.
Be like, oh, yeah, I agree with that. Let me say something. And then it's just.
Let me add to that. Yep,
Yep.
time's up. But then I also met
Exactly.
some new
Oh my
readers on
God.
there too. So, it's like they liked my opinion or whatever. Then they'll start following me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are a lot of fun. And I try not to get too sucked into it, but I like it. It kind of takes my, takes my mind off of whatever for a little bit. And then I have to make sure I get back to doing what I'm supposed to do. But,
Right. Yeah.
but for me, that's fun. The fun part of, I can market. I like creating the content ads, and I do book trailers and commercials. So if you want a commercial, let me know. Or you want a book trailer ad, I'm really good at those. So I have fun with them. I just play around with them because to me, it's another way of creating. When I get stuck with writing, it's another way for me to be creative. So yeah, just let me know.
Cool. Okay, sweet.
So do you find it more challenging to write the first book in a series or to write the subsequent novels?
Let me see, because we're Hidden Witness series, that's like a more of an interconnected series. Relentless Chase is about just one couple, but I am like a major crossover. I'm like a crossover queen. Like every last one of my books crossover. So you will find characters from Samantha's book in Relentless Chase. And so readers will go back and read Samantha because they're like, wait a minute, who is that? She has her own book, So, but the first book, I don't know. I just, I guess I don't find any of them hard to write because the only problem I had is once I get to the end of the first one and then I leave that cliffhanger and then I get those bad reviews that say, oh my God, why'd you leave that cliffhanger? Or, oh my goodness, I can't believe you couldn't write all 1,000 pages in that one book, so we didn't have to go to book 2 and 3 and 4 and 5.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay $30 for a paperback. If I put all those, if I created a book that was 1,000 pages.
Too long. Yeah.
I had to break it up. But, I get that, like, oh, my God, you left the cliffhanger. Why did you do that? Because when I leave that cliffhanger, I'm as bad as the readers. I'm like, oh, my gosh, I need to go ahead and start writing book 2 because I want to keep it. I want to keep writing. I want to, I want to know what's going to happen.
I want to know what's going to happen next. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a lot of times where I am. But if it's like an interconnected series where, you end, like I end Hidden Witness 2 and go on to Tony's story for Hidden Witness 3, then it's like a little calming, and then like I get the whole, why'd you have to end his book that way? Can he have another book? And it's like, I didn't plan for him to get another book, But I don't really find it that hard. It's just thinking of I love drama, so just like the whole betrayal, kidnapping, that's like my specialty, terrorizing and torturing people. So as long as I can have lots of that, it won't be that hard for me to continue on to the next book.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I know how I am with series. If I read one and I'm really into it, and I do want to know what's going to happen next, so I'll buy the next book. Yeah, because sometimes you really don't have a lot of time to sit there and read a huge one. You're right. So, did you discover anything surprising while you're writing your books about yourself?
I have ADHD or something, but I feel because that's what I was saying. Like I'll start writing and I have a rhythm going, and then I'll break away and do something else. But I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I learned about myself while writing? I write better under pressure.
Oh, okay.
If on a deadline, and that's why a lot of times I never tell readers what like a release date. Like they're asking me when a Christmas book is coming out. I'm like, it's coming. I don't have a date. then I just have more freedom to like putz around and do other stuff or take my time or whatever. But if I'm on a deadline, I will stop at nothing to get that book done. I will do everything in my power. Like if I have to work almost 24 hours a day to get it done, but it's just like it's so good. I don't know. It's to me, I feel like it's even better when I write like that. Yeah.
Oh. So do you have a favorite book or favorite character?
Of mine?
Yes.
People ask me that all the time. I'm gonna
I know
say,
we're supposed to love all our babies equally, but
Yeah. My craziest character ever is Dominic Maggioretti from Hidden Witness 4. He's Dylan's brother, and he is a psychopath. If you ask me. But he always had like quick little comebacks and little things that he says, and he's very possessive over his woman, and everybody loves him. That's like one of my best-selling books ever.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love writing him, and I can't wait to write his second book. I wrote him a little bit in Assassins and My Wife. It's like really easy to write him. Really easy.
Okay.
So, chopping people up and stuff like that, that's his thing. So.
Wow, he's one of those. Okay.
Yeah, it's mafia. It's a mafia story. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Then.
Yeah.
I know. It's like I've read some really gruesome horror stories. So chopping up people, it's, I'm like, okay, that's
yeah,
expected.
I think you're saying, I know
Yeah.
a writer who writes serial killers, and I watch Criminal Minds, and I love that kind of stuff. I was like, wow, I never thought about writing a serial killer book. I'm like, oh, what is that like? I'm gonna have to read one, but I always watch it on TV, so I guess it can't be
always
that
love
different.
those are interesting. Yeah, and especially how they do forensics and how they discover who the killer was, and so I'm thinking, okay, now I'm gonna write something like that. I would love to, play with that a little bit. So. I have some supernatural serial killers, but
oh, nice.
But yeah.
So
I'm more with the paranormal, so that's my tribute to horror or whatever. So yeah.
Cool.
Do you warn people or have triggers? I mean that about things that in the book. I mean I know they're mafia romances, but like the lady said, she wasn't expecting, or it was too much violence, but. Like, do you write a warning on your books to say, hey, you might be triggered by a certain situation?
I don't, but I need to. And I said I was going to because that Hidden Witness series is so gruesome. I need to go back and put that on, put those on Amazon. Putting triggers that, is very gruesome because to me, it's not a problem, but I didn't think that it would be for other readers. But like if there's any elements of, even if there's any elements of rape or anything like that, I have a series that I need to go back and put on there. There's some things in here, or it's not for 18 and under or something like that. But I do need to. I'm happy you brought that up. I really need to.
Yeah, like a little heads. I know because I was listening to an audiobook last night. I just started it, Redemption by Kenya Wright. And the first part, I was in tears. I was like crying because I could see this, and it had the background, it had the noise, it had the, and just I felt the fear. And when you can write that way and you make me experience what is going on, that is powerful. To the point where I was like crying for this woman because she was like,
wow,
I mean, damn, she started that book right out the gate, and I was like, no, and it was abusive husband and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, but yeah, because it was that powerful, and I'm listening to it, so it brought it more to life for me. I'm like, no, girl, put that down, run, I'm like, like I'm watching a movie, right?
Wow,
that's
like,
awesome. Get out of there, girl. He's gonna do, so. Yes, I mean, I not triggered in a bad way, but when you write something that triggers emotions in people, I think that's the best writing you could do, is when you write something so powerful that people experience an emotion while they're reading. The same way I felt for when Wyatt got hit, and I'm like, it's just Same thing.
Yeah.
Just all the
Yeah, you
emotions
know
that
what?
go with that, because I'm like, no,
I
he's
didn't think
he's
about
seeing his
that.
poor woman, being yelled at, or, and,
Mhm.
that would throw me off too. Here's the woman he loves, and she doesn't look like, so she's in trouble, and I am on this field, but oh my goodness, I was like, no.
Yeah.
And he
Kennedy
wasn't
Ryan.
getting up.
What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, no.
That was a heck of a scene. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was tough to
that,
write.
that was a powerful scene. And that, I was like, oh my God. I was like, please be okay. It really
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
be
Cause
okay.
she said she ran her hand over his face
Yes.
and he didn't move. I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
exactly. I mean, I felt that, I was like, I got to hand to you. That was also it was a very moving scene. Because I was like, what? No, no, no.
Yeah,
Like,
my husband's like, my husband's like really big into sports. Like he can be a sports commentator. So I had to go to him a lot, to write this book. Can you tell me about this in football and what's this play and all of this? And I watched a lot of YouTube. That's the thing people don't understand. There's a lot of research that goes into writing.
Yes, it shows. It really shows. I will say that because it really does show. There's a lot of things that, I mean, I'm a sports fan and I love to watch football, but I was also a cheerleader. But my thing when I was a cheerleader, I learned the game so that I can know what I'm cheering for. Like when we have the ball, or when to yell defense, when to yell offense. So our coach was like, no, you need to learn the game. So that she made us learn it, and I'm glad she did because now I can experience on a different level when I'm watching the game and I get really into it. And you really broke it down. I thought I was like, did she play football? You did some really good research.
I was researching
yes, you did.
Like my favorite team is the Patriots. So
there you go.
What's his name? Edelman. I was watching his plays because he's a wide receiver, and I was like, okay, I got that, and I felt like I was studying tape myself, like that. That's how long. I mean, I spent mornings doing that a lot, just like watching YouTube and learning about the draft. Like I've seen the draft before, but then the behind the scenes components of it, I was like, really? I did not realize how stressful it was on those players. I watched it for basketball, but for football, I honestly never paid any attention. But when they showed the guys waiting with the phone on the table and stuff, and anticipation, and the commentator saying he's waiting for the call, how much longer, and I was like, oh my God, I felt some kind of way. Oh my God,
it's like nerve-wracking.
It's like a TV show. Just waiting to see if these guys are gonna, play football
the money,
or not.
So
your whole family's there with you, and if you're the last one to get called after so many hours, it was fun though. Like that kind of stuff is fun to me. I think if it's something I really enjoy.
Yes.
Oh, thank
because
you.
Really, I mean, it was like that for real. That's why it was so realistic because you put a lot into it. I mean, it's not just an erotic book or a romance. You put so much in there that it's like, like, yes, you can see this happening for real. Like you're really a part of the game. And it's like telling people the inside information, because there are even some aspects that I didn't know about the plays, like the whole back thing before they even get up there and say, hey, all we do is see them when they're on TV. Like, I got signed with so-and-so, but we don't know what leads up to that or what is happening in the background before that. And it's like, you showed everybody that. It's like, that was amazing. So I got to hand it to you. That was, you did your research, girl. You did that. You definitely did that.
Thank you. My husband was showing me something. This is 1st and 10, and this is why this is that. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, can you run that back? Can you say that again? I mean, like, seriously, I love to watch football, but I did not understand to that degree until I had to write it. But I love it now. I'm like, I can write more sports romance.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this might be
another series. Yep, there you go.
Yep.
You have another series right there. Because I would love to see more of Wyatt.
Yeah, I got some feedback from some of my readers. I knew they were going to say it. I wish the book was longer. He needed a longer book. I'm like, do you know I pushed the
not
envelope.
even longer.
That book was 30.
Yeah. He just needs another book.
He needs a series.
Another.
I get
he needs
it.
his own series. Yeah. I would say,
I figured that. I can see that going in. Like, sometimes you can kind of see it.
Yeah. You nailed it. Yeah. He definitely. I know Messy Mandy was, she couldn't, yeah.
Yeah. Messy
Mandy
was
really
something else. She was
really messy. I'm like, I like Messy Mandy, but I'm like, no, girl, no. You gonna bust him out like
poor baby mama.
No.
She was going in on him. She was like, you don't believe in protection.
Right. Oh my God, no. I was so hurt.
I was laughing.
I'm like, no.
I was too.
I was like, no, I can't believe that for a second. He just doesn't sound like the type at all. You know, as much as he cared for her. I know.
This whole scandal, like for football players, you hear that all the time. Like,
all the time.
I used to watch shows. I forgot the name of the show I used to watch, but this guy, it was on Showtime, and he would take care of the players. And I was going to put this scene in there too. Like, he had to get the women out the room after he's done, like after the football player done whatever with them.
Right.
What's the name of that show?
Is it Ballers?
Ray Donovan. Ray Donovan. I love Ballers too.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I love Ballers
and because the women were trying to steal the condoms with the
with the semen in it.
And I was like, what?
So I can use a turkey baster for later. No. Yes.
Trying to get that money.
That money.
You know, Ballers.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ballers is the same way, and I love Ballers too because it shows you the behind the scenes of what their life is
what
like.
Goes on. Yes.
I would love to write a series like that. Like, I love that kind of stuff.
There you go, Wyatt and his team. You know, there you go.
Yeah.
There's your series. I'm serious. Yeah, there's your series right there. Because like you get to know the players, and you know, make it maybe one of the players you can set, you know, focus on one of each of the players or something, you know, in their lives that's going on, and you know, because you really nailed the whole football.
Yeah, I kind of left that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I kind of left that. Like I mentioned, Josh Mavis.
Yes.
Kind of like putting it out there, like he would be the next guy that I would talk about on that team for his own book.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show with me tonight.
So
do you have a website or anything that my listeners can look you up and find out more about your books?
PoseyParks.com. Find me on there. It's my website. Posey One Parks on Facebook. Posey Parks on Instagram. Facebook, they shut down my Posey Parks account, but people have found my Posey Shantee Parks account. I have so many accounts because of the shenanigans with Facebook, but readers are still finding me. But yeah, my page or my website is a great way to find me. Or Pandora's Box is my my Facebook group. Okay, so Pandora's Box on Facebook. Awesome. I'm going to have to look for that too. I might peek my head in. Right, and get trapped in another group, right? Come on in. When I'm scaling stuff instead of doing what I'm supposed to do. But I know. Yeah. It's so easy to do. I'm serious. Thank you all for tuning in with us tonight and listening to author Posey Parks. I thank you for coming on the show and introduce us to your work. And I would love to have you come back another time if you have another release or anything like that. Just let me know, or if you want a commercial or anything. Cool. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for coming. So you guys have a good evening. I wish you peace, blessings, and love. You have been listening to Mahogany Says with Mahogany Silverine at mahoganysilverine.net. Thank you and good night.